AI copywriting is probably at the top of my list of futuristic stuff. You know, it was funny when you said you're all about the future, my brain went the present. I think the world thinks a lot of things that I'm excited about. Like, I don't guess, I don't want to do something that nobody's doing yet. So, you know, I've been looking at AI stuff, machine learning stuff for years as an investor, as hey, when will this happen? And then, you know, earlier this fall, you know, ChatGPT, you look at that and you're like, wait a minute, this is real. Like, I can write an entire blog post in 2 minutes. And what I'm excited about is, you know, I've seen some counterpoints in social where people are like, this is bad, this is gonna take away jobs. And like, yeah, and I'm like, yeah, but you know, if you know your history, that's what people said about tractors. Yeah. You know, tractors were bad. We shouldn't make, looms. Right, we shouldn't make farming, things, I'm trying to remember, machinery. We shouldn't make farming machinery that will take away jobs. What happens is when jobs are taken away, new jobs are created. Yeah. And what I see in copywriting AI is the commodity is being disrupted, but you know, you have to come up with the ideas. Like, I have to say, hey, write a blog post about VeeFriends and compare it to wine and say it in the voice of Chris Farley. And then enter, and then I've got to edit it. So ideas and creativity go to the top. Yeah. The commodity of the execution goes to the bottom. And Tom, obviously we've had the luxury of jamming together. You know that I in a lot of ways am very traditional to advertising. I think the creative is the variable of success. I think ideas are incredibly the beginning point of that. But obviously, you know, given your career, like, I have a very different point of view of the process of that. Less politics of one human being's subjective opinion based on seniority, more making at scale and looking at consumer insights to make better. That is not test and learn, that's marketing with the sake of making better marketing. So, you know, I think AI copywriting is at the tippy top. And then the continuation, more of the same. In 2023, I think we'll see more people understand that you have to make different commercials for CTV, like a Hulu commercial, an Amazon Prime commercial, a future Netflix commercial. If you make what we all know as commercials for that space, it's going to be bad. And so, like, let's think videos that people actually want to watch. More TikTok, the organic reach is subsiding because more people are making for it, more ads are being run, so now you have to be better to break through, right? Other platforms do, I mean, Instagram put out a feature this week where, you know, all of a sudden the DM ecosystem looks differently. There's some WhatsApp behavior. I just put in, you know, a post in there. What are they officially calling it? Do we know? Notes. This notes feature, like, I just put in, like, what's your favorite wine? Boom, getting a ton of engagement. Like, oh, attention, UI, UX. So the platforms, you know, Facebook Reels, crushing for me, right? Really? Creative strategy. Doing green screens over headlines as your creative versus just ranting to the video. So the creative strategy of these platforms that are mature, like YouTube, you know, we hear all the, you know, when I hear Mr. Beast talk about spending 6 figures on a thumbnail, just imagine, you know, there's a Daily V, which is my daily blog, that got 1 million views after 3 title changes and 4 thumbnail changes. Versus 40,000 views. Like, you know, there's like really incredible, you know, creative strategy that is going to continue to build, I think, in 2023. More people are gonna buy into it. I'm seeing the term clip agencies pop up, which is like— Clip agencies? Yeah, there's a term I saw in my TikTok, 3 different TikToks I've seen in the last 3 weeks of, like, clip agencies are the new website agencies. The guy was comparing it that he had a website agency in the 90s because everybody needed one. Now clip agencies, which is the essence of what I've been doing for 10 years, which is like micro creative, like what I do every day. We put out 15 clips today on YouTube, and they're calling them clip agencies. I thought I was clever. I'm like, oh, it's just so funny to see, like, that, you know, is becoming the science that people are trying to understand. While still, as I'm looking outside in New York City, I'm looking at 2 outdoor billboards, one's for Apple, and I'm looking at the creative and I'm like, look, that's a very busy street, 10th Avenue in New York City. Like, when you buy billboards properly, not overpay, but maybe buy remnant inventory, you get the billboard for 2 months at like 80% of the cost, you know, that's a deal of awareness. It's New York City. A lot of people will see it actually. Even with people looking at their phones, I still think the drivers, I know you lost the passenger because of the phone, but even the driver, though with Tesla, people, but nonetheless, for now,
as long as we're trying.
I look at that, I'm like, ooh, that might be a deal, but then I'm like, but is that the right creative? And I know, and you know, Tom, 99.9% likely that somebody just came up with that and somebody else said that's good and they went. To me, not testing images on Twitter and Instagram and other Pinterest to get to, here are my 37 hypotheses, and I just use the word I don't want to use. I don't want to use test. Market pictures on those platforms, have actual humans respond to it, and then have affirmation, oh, this image is most likely to make someone stop or pay attention. It's just crazy. We continue to do marketing as if the internet doesn't exist.
Right. How do you, to follow up on that, how are clients going to have to change?
Well, you know this.
In the future,
what's
the new generation of marketer look
like? You know this. Again, this is the beauty of this is so fun. I wanted to do this for you too, because I want to support you, because once Vayner, always Vayner. And so you know this, brother. You came from the industry. You spent time at Vayner. You know it's hard. It's hard for us. We are trying to teach people a new game. It's like, hey, I know you've been playing, hockey for the last 40 years. We'd like you to play pickleball. And they're like, what? But it's a sport. But it's not the same. And you know this, I don't know if this serendipity of the accounts you worked on, Tom, and I think with Pepsi, I'm trying to think, might have not hit your radar as much, but
I tried.
No, it wasn't this. It's just the serendipity of the accounts you were on. We have accounts that I can think of that you weren't on, that literally the results, literally the business is up for the first time in a long time.
Yeah.
But because because it's not what they want, which is let's just all sit around for 7 months, come up with an idea and throw it on TV. They're not fully happy. They're like, no, but we should do they're always fighting for it to go back to the old way.
Yeah.
And so the modern marketer is gonna have to be like the modern parent, right? The modern parent's gotta realize that 8th place trophies for the last 20 years have really fucked kids up. I know the intent was good. We didn't want kids to be upset. That's beautiful. I don't think parents 25 years ago, when this started being a trend, were trying to upset kids in their 20s and 30s with anxiety and fear of losing. They were trying to address the issue at hand, which was, if this kid gets a trophy and my son's coming home or daughter and they're crying, that's bad. So the logic there was there, but it ended up, here we are now 2023, and we do have an incredible issue in society, which is that we've demonized losing so much that kids fear so much now, they don't want to do, they're scared to do anything, to the point where it's even hot to be I don't want to work.
Right.
That's not sustainable. That's just not how and so, I think the same thing with marketers. I don't think the marketers or the creatives I bring in or strategists I bring in are ill intent. I think they just don't see the consequences of not adjusting to the truth. Realizing that brand is built in social. Let's start there. Right now you have an entire...
I love that phrase, brand is built in social. What does that mean?
It means that the brands that are winning are quite effective in social media marketing or on their product, and they don't have to be effective in TV commercials and above the line branding. And the brands that are losing market share are betting the farm on above the line branding and TV executions, and it's just black and white. And the only enigmas are the ones that have the product is so much better. I've always said that I felt that Apple for the last decade has not been as effective of a marketer as people think, but it's been hidden because they have the best product. And you see it because you see way too many people consider Android in youth culture when that shouldn't be the case, when Apple's a much better product.
Yeah.
It's that they're not winning on relevance as much as people think they might be. And so, I think there's this big bad game of relevance and consideration that is very classic marketing jargon, that television and above the line vanilla sentences for brand positioning are unable to achieve because they box everyone into matching luggage and digital. Most of it's traditional digital. It goes programmatic banner and impressions instead of social first creative against consumer segmentations to win on relevance and then extract consumer insights and go up on what you want to bet on. So it's going to take everyone to flip the whole model which is incredibly challenging. You have an entire industry of marketers and creatives and strategists who are built on fake research, or limited, it's not fake, that's not fair, but very limited research. You go to Reddit, you go to the internet, you do a little research, you survey 20 to 50 people, and you come in and you pitch an idea that came out of brilliant creative minds, but like, the reality is like, it's just not working. And so, I think a lot more creative, the cost of creative has to come down. We can't think good creative is just based on how much it costs.
Right.
Like I want to remind people.
Director you got.
Yeah, exactly. I want to remind people, many people, every person here who's listening, you have had a $600 dinner, not every person, because not everyone's fortunate enough to have this kind of dinner. For the people that have, but you know, have stumbled on it one way or another. Even
yeah, we're only for the upper echelon. this podcast is top notch.
But really, like, you know, people go with a boss and they get to like there have been people who've had their first, actually here's a better way. For the people that have been lucky enough to have a fancy meal, a white tablecloth meal.
Yeah.
Many of us listening right now can know that they've had meals that cost $500 with the wine and the high-end food and the caviar this and the sweetbreads that and the foie gras this or whatever it may be, high-end sushi. And then we've also had like a Bojangles chicken sandwich for $1 or whatever the hell it is, $5. And like the $5 one was more satisfying and more effective than the $600 one. Wine, bourbon, sodas, and take any consumable, clothes. There's people that have a $47 pair of jeans that they love 10 times more than a $300. And so somehow we realize subconsciously, if not consciously, that in the world, there's a lot of things we like more that don't cost as much. We like it more.
Yeah.
Yet, in the creative ad world, quality is completely tied into, subconsciously, to how much it costs. A TikTok that gets 80 trillion views can't be as good as a commercial that runs on NBC primetime because that one cost $800 or $3,000 and the other one cost $1 million.
Yeah.
With production and agency fee and talent and director and, right? When in reality, every day on TikTok, there's 45 pieces of marketing creative that will be seen by 10 trillion times more people than any commercial on network television and be more effective for the business. That is not accepted in our industry yet, but it is an inevitable outcome of tomorrow.